Hello and welcome to day 72 of the 365-day meditation challenge, where I challenge myself to meditate for 1 hour a day in 2 sessions of 31 minutes. Let's actually set the timer for 31 minutes. This is session 2 of the day. I feel much better than at the in the first session because I was just out for 3.5 hours or 3 hours of walking with Sophie, and I was super tired afterwards, and I meditated and I felt better. Then I made a video about the importance of targeting when it comes to dog training. I did another beautiful video for the people who want to train their dog in my circle. And a friend of mine got in very heated into a debate with me, saying like, but you can do it differently. And I'm like, yeah, you can, but I like to do it this way. Targeting is when you choose an object or your hand and you train the dog to put its nose here to get a reward. And it's useful because if you want to, for instance, teach them how to jump onto the table or onto a chair or somewhere like that, you can teach them super easy because it's a non-verbal cue of what you want, and you can attach another word. And he was like, yes, but you can do that with a clicker. And I'm like, no, you can't. The clicker only makes the dog attentive, does not communicate a placement for a dog. So it doesn't move the dog. It only makes your dog super attentive to you because every time you click that thing, you give him a reward. So it's not really the same thing. Sure, if you take the clicker and you put it so it gets a target on the clicker, then sure. But the hand is always like, it's always available to use as a target. And he was like, but what if the dog is gonna like uh, do it when you don't want it, when you just hold your hand like that? And I'm like, no, because it's like this. You don't always hold your hand like this. And yeah, it's then he was like, I was telling him that it's better than food because you can do the same thing with food luring. But I'm like, it's easier to do it with targeting and better because whenever you do it with targeting, you get a delay. So you make the dog think first and then do a thing, not just follow the smell and the food. And that's not really the most effective way of teaching dogs fast, because they don't use their brain as much whenever they go after the smell of food or just the taste, just like this. So that's basically, you do it this way and then they come to the hand, and then you reward and you can attach words to that, as opposed to luring. It's you cannot attach a word to that because it's not sequential. You have to lure the dog, so you have to do the whole motion. And it is very hard because it's not on cue. You actually have the dog move with your hand, so he doesn't see anything. He doesn't understand as much. He doesn't analyze the situation to understand how to solve the problem of getting to your hand. Does he just jump? Does he climb? Does he whatever? So it's much more like, it gets the dog thinking way more and problem solving. I have some yerba mate sparkling tea, and I'm gonna start the meditation right now. And there you go. The meditation is over. I feel quite nice. I was just wondering what is up with all the messages that I've been getting. I got like 20 messages while I was meditating. I heard them because my phone is on the table right next to the juice. And I was thinking like, who messaged me so much? And I just wanted to say that I have to be honest, this is not tea. Definitely, it's a juice. So I don't, it has like, I cannot read because I don't have my glasses. Well, I can. So it has 5.7 grams of sugar per 100 milliliters. So that's 17 grams per can. So that's quite a bit. Like, it's like more than 3 hot chocolates that I drink in the morning, which is crazy. Like, I drink one a day, and I think that's a lot of sugar because it's dark chocolate. It still has like 14 grams per 100 grams. So when I drink a coffee, a chocolate, when I make a hot chocolate, I usually split the chocolate in 3 parts. So I kind of have 14 divided by, well, 4.5, let's say. 4.5 or 4.7 grams of sugar when I have my chocolate, my hot chocolate in the morning instead of coffee. So that's just for, let's say, 5 grams of sugar. 5 grams of sugar, but this one has more than 3 times that. Well, not a lot, but 3.5 times more. So, yeah, that's why you need to read the labels. Like, I I taught a friend of mine who was like getting into healthy stuff, and we were talking about diet, and I told him like one of the best ideas is to always read the goddamn label. Because and then I gave him an example where I said, how much sugar do you think it's in ketchup? He was like, 2%? I'm like, it's like 14%, 15%. Some of them have 20% sugar. So you have to be careful when buying things. You can find the alternative that has the least amount of sugar. So, and then a few months later, he was like, I bought a like a pickled, chopped, whatever thing, salad, and I was eating it and I was like, oh, this is amazing. This is so good. And it's just pickled, so I can eat as much as possible because it sure it has a lot of salt, but it doesn't. And then he got a big crash and he read the label and it had like 8 grams per 100 grams of 8 grams of sugar. And he was like, oh, it's more than, it's like almost as much as Coke. So yeah, you have to be careful in reading the labels and understanding that that doesn't, it's the label, to understand the label, because the label says it's per 100 milliliters or per 100 grams, and this has 330 milliliters. So it's 3 times what it's written on the label. So that's why it's so important to read labels, because you might end up thinking that, oh, there isn't a lot of sugar in this, whatever. And then you go like, uh-oh, or there isn't a lot of salt in this. And then you realize that it's 6% salt, and usually foods are not 6% salt. Like if you had a soup and you were thinking it's like what, 300 milliliters, and you wouldn't put that's 6, 12. 18 grams of sugar in there. It's like a 2 spoons of salt, not sugar, of salt. And you're like, oh, now I get it. Like in soup, if I wouldn't put that in on my steak or on my, you put like less than a gram, you put half a gram, well, less on a steak. So, and it's still salty. So when you read a label and you go like, oh, it's 3% salt, you're like, whoa. So yeah, you need to be careful on reading labels. I think that's a good subject. I feel quite proud of the subject that I've opened up right now. Thank you for watching. This was the second session and the last session of the day. Tomorrow is gonna be another beautiful day, so see you tomorrow.